Next, Mary Backstage, Noble Wife, the story of America's favorite family of the footlights and their fight for security and happiness against the concrete heart of Broadway. Today is the day the Backstagers are to begin their latest adventure, a trip to Africa to film a TV special along with Greg Marlowe. And it's early evening at the Fulton Street Pier in the East River as we see our friends arriving on the dock with their luggage being loaded aboard the Poseidon. And we hear Calvin say,
"Well, it's going to be real exciting. I haven't gone on a good long sea voyage on a big boat like this in years."
No, and as we said this afternoon, it's going to be good to be on a real luxury liner, one that we can have some service and things.
I have our tickets now.
Oh, good, right?
Harry and I will be first class midship. Harry, you're first class fantail.
All right.
And Calvin and Pop,
Yes?
you're second class stern.
What does that mean, that we won't be on the top deck?
I think it means something like that. I don't know if it means all that.
No, they don't let you both
Oh, how
go
nice.
to the deck.
Well, then, you and I, Greg, are in the same section. Yeah, right.
I guess you weren't able to get me a reservation in the central section there either, Greg, huh?
These are the best arrangements I could make.
Yeah, well, of course, there wasn't too much time.
Right.
And we'll be sailing for Durban, South Africa in just a few minutes.
Yeah, I have everything. They put aboard all our stuff and everything.
I like the lines of this vessel, don't you?
Yeah,
Looks
really
like it's mighty seaworthy.
looks sleek. It looks like it could go like the wind.
Oh, yeah. Do you see that MV in front of the name Poseidon?
Yeah.
That means motor vessel, I'm told.
Motor vessel Poseidon. Here we go. Think of that.
They
We'll
don't
have a
go
real
by
nice
steam
time.
anymore, huh?
No, they go. It's regular motors now, like in the steam shovels.
Oh, sure. They'll plow through the water. We'll make this inside of a couple of weeks, I think.
Oh, this is going to be some adventure. I'm telling you.
Are they making any stops on the way, Mr. Marlowe? Do you know?
Well, let's see. No, it's well, yes. They'll stop in the Azores to take on olives.
In the Azores. Olives? Olives?
Olives? Olives?
Why would they take on olives in the Azores, Greg?
Probably for the martinis.
Oh, we're all in a good mood. Certainly, it's a joyous way to begin an ocean cruise like this.
All aboard is going aboard, and all ashore is going ashore.
All right.
mean it.
That means us to go aboard. That must be the purser.
Have your tickets ready.
Come on, Mary. Calvin, Greg.
Yeah, all right.
Right behind you.
Let me just have your tickets here.
Yes, here you are. Mr. Marlowe has them.
Okay, let's see. Greg Marlowe, Mr. Greg Marlowe, Mrs. Backstage, you're first class midship. And you, Harry Backstage?
Yes, I'm first class stern, I believe.
First class fantail.
Fantail,
That's half. That's back that way.
Right, and I'm second class, I believe.
Who are you?
Papa Lovett.
Papa Lovett, yes. You're a second class stern. And
Calvin is the same thing. I see they've raised the gangplank.
Where is
Must
Calvin?
be ready to go pretty soon. Yes, we should be leaving any minute. Where is it, Calvin? Calvin?
all ashore is going ashore.
Calvin?
Where's Calvin?
I don't know. He was with us when we started up the gangplank.
Well, we can't leave port without Calvin.
Maybe he went down to look at our quarters.
No, look, he's down on the dock.
And they've raised the gangplank. Calvin? Yes.
Hey, when they lower the gangplank, you can't go without me.
We'll see if we can get the captain to do it, Calvin, or the purser. Old purser.
Yes?
That's a member of our party down there on the pier, Calvin L. Hoogovan.
Well, wave to him. We're leaving.
And so the MV Poseidon prepares to pull out of Fulton Street, head for Durban, South Africa. You want to be here tomorrow when we'll hear the purser say,
No, we can't take him aboard now. You'll have to make some other arrangements.
that's tomorrow in the next exciting episode of Mary Backstage Noble Wife. Word Carr speaking. Mary Backstage, Noble Wife, the story of America's favorite family of the footlights and their fight for security and happiness against the concrete heart of Broadway. Yesterday, as they were leaving for their African safari aboard the MV Poseidon, Mary, Harry, Pop, and Greg discovered that Calvin had been left standing on the Fulton Street Pier. Now, moments later, Mary suggests Harry appeal to the captain for help.
Well, we can't go all the way without Calvin. He's so much a part of our entourage and of the program that we plan to film in Africa.
Well, we've already passed under the Verrazano Bridge. We better do something quick or Calvin will give up hope of accompanying us.
Why don't you go up to the captain of this vessel and tell him our problem? See if he'll turn about and go back.
He might be sympathetic to our problem.
Sure.
Well, all right, I will.
Explain how important Calvin is to our whole venture.
All right. I'll be back as soon as I have some information.
Fine.
Must be this way.
Stand here on the deck and watch the skyline.
Sure is a beautiful view.
That's Brooklyn, isn't it?
Over there on the left.
That's Brooklyn.
Or starboard, as we sometimes call it.
Port on the left.
On the left.
Starboard is right. I remember reading that.
Well, it depends whether you're going out or coming in. But...
Well, always on your right would be starboard, and the left is port. Green light would be your port side, and the red light is... green is... Oh, forget it.
Captain?
Yes,
Captain? Oh, thank you. How do you do? I'm Harry Backstage, famous Broadway star.
Don't put your hands on my desk.
Captain, we're leaving...
Don't you know about germs?
No, I...
Germs are the cause of all disease and sickness.
Course. Captain, we have a very important problem on our hands. We're leaving, as you know, for Durban, South Africa.
You're telling me, the captain of this vessel, where we're going?
Well, of course, you know, Captain, and you're doing well so far. You're steering very, very well. But one of our party remained on the pier when we left. In other words, he got left behind. Calvin L. Hoogerman, our next-door neighbor.
Yes?
And we've got to get him back and get him aboard. Could you come about, go back and pick him up?
Well, that would be impossible. Once we set sail, we can't come about and go back unless we had some serious problems, and I don't think that's a serious problem.
Well,
you see, the firm I work for wouldn't permit this. This would be a terrible waste of fuel, of man hours, and the whole thing.
Well, what do you suggest? We've got to have him in our party as we go on safari, Captain.
Well, how did it happen? How did we pull out with him on the pier, if I may ask?
Just looking the other way when the gangplank was pulled up.
Well, I'm afraid you people are quite careless, and I just hope we're not going to have this kind of problem one after the other all the way to Durban.
Can you do anything about it? Can you get him aboard somehow?
Well, the only one possibility I can think of, that would be for me to contact helicopter 710. You've probably seen it flying over New York.
Well, yes, I have.
Reports on traffic.
Right.
And I thought I could contact that and see if maybe they could drop down and pick up this friend of yours. What's his name?
Calvin L. Hoogerman.
Calvin Hoogerman, and then they could bring him out here and drop him on, or deposit him, if you will, on our deck.
Oh, that'll be wonderful, Captain. Can you do that right away?
All right, here, let me just get on the phone here. This is motor vessel SS Poseidon, calling helicopter 710.
This is 710, Captain. Yes. What can I do for you?
How's boat traffic today?
Well, right at the moment it's pretty good, flowing freely. There's a couple of boats on your starboard side.
Yeah.
What can I do for you, Captain?
Any boats going up and down the Hudson or the East River?
Nothing I can see, mate.
Any backups at the tunnel or anything?
No, the tunnel's pretty clear at the moment.
Okay, look, here's the problem we have. We have a party on...
I'll tell the troops about it.
We have a party on board who's one of whose members is still on the Fulton Street Pier. We wonder if you could drop down, pick him up. His name, incidentally, do you have a pen and pencil?
Sure I do. Strapped to my left knee.
Calvin Hoogerman.
Calvin Hoogerman. I know him well.
He's on the Fulton Street Pier. Could you pick him up and deposit him here on the deck of the Poseidon, please?
Righto, Captain. I'll do it momentarily. He'll be on your deck in 20 minutes.
Thank you very much, helicopter 710.
And so the captain has made contact with helicopter 710, who promises to pick up Calvin and return him to the deck of the Poseidon. And you ought to be here tomorrow when we'll hear Calvin L. Hoogerman say,
Wow, that was some drop.
that's tomorrow in the next exciting episode of Mary Backstage Noble Wife. Word Carr speaking.
You better believe it, I tell you, when Airborne can go and pick up Hoogelmans off docks and drop them onto ocean-going vessels, you know Airborne has to be good.
You're really writing some exciting episodes of the Backstage saga as it moves on. And yesterday you left Calvin standing on the dock, so to speak. We hope he'll be rescued today. Give any hint of that for us?
Well, weren't you listening an hour ago?
I was speaking with some friends who dropped by. I didn't quite get a chance to pay as much attention as I should have.
Well, the answer to your question will be aired in today's episode, which will be along in a minute or two, so I don't think I'll
all right.
tip my hand at this point.
Okay.
You have to have some suspense in these continuing stories,
sure.
Bob. If you
That's the
tell the story, then you've lost your point.
right.
You see.
You're very, very right, Chester Hasbrook Frisbee, and thank you for dropping by. Next, Mary Backstage Noble Wife, the story of America's favorite family of the Footlights and of their fight for security and happiness against the concrete heart of Broadway. Yesterday, the captain of the Poseidon, the vessel taking Mary, Pop, Greg Marlowe, and Harry to South Africa, radioed helicopter 710 to ask that it pick up Calvin Hoogerman at the Fulton Street Pier, where he'd been left behind when the boat weighed anchor. Now we join Calvin as he sits talking to a stranger, telling him...
I was on the boat, and I decided to get off and get one more egg cream before I left New York, see? So I come down the gangplank, I go across the street, and I'm enjoying my egg cream, and I'm exchanging the time of day with the clerk there. And I look up, and suddenly the boat is slowly slipping out of its wharf, its pier, and they're going. And so I ran out, and I yelled, "Hey," I said, "you can't go without me." And they couldn't hear me, I guess. They just kept going. So I'm stuck here. I don't know what to do.
Well, what flavor was it?
It was vanilla egg cream.
Vanilla?
Yeah.
I like chocolate better.
Chocolate's okay, but vanilla is my favorite.
You ever try a coffee-flavored one?
Oh, yeah. There's not a strawberry I've had.
Strawberry's good,
I've had them all. I think I've had them all. But vanilla, ever since I was a kid, has been
I
my
never
favorite.
had an orange one.
You haven't?
Do they make them?
Oh, yeah, they can make you an orange egg cream. Oh, sure.
I don't think oranges and eggs don't mix too well.
Uh-huh. Oh, oranges and eggs? Well, I never thought of that. But they don't put egg in an egg cream anyway.
No, that's right, they don't. Why is that, do you know?
I don't know. I guess the chickens objected. I don't have any idea. No, you see, I don't know what to do. Now, you see, are you familiar with the Backstagers?
The famous Broadway actors?
Yeah, you see, I was supposed to go to Africa with them to help film a TV special on Africa. And there they go.
Very interesting.
I'm quite disappointed. If I wasn't a man, I think I'd be crying in my handkerchief.
I would imagine you would be. That's the saddest story I've ever heard.
Because I was looking forward to this trip like anything.
I know how you must feel.
Well, you know, you often have heard the expression, "Well, I'm sorry, you missed the boat." Well, you know, it always means something. But until you really miss the boat, you don't know what that means. What's that?
Oh, I'll see you later, pal.
All right, what is it?
Hey, mate.
Yeah.
You Calvin Hoogerman?
Yeah, I'm going over
Come on, up aboard.
What's that, helicopter 710?
That's right, mate.
I don't care about the traffic. I'm so mad now I missed the boat.
Come on, get aboard. I'm going to take you back to the troops.
You going to take me where?
Back to the Poseidon.
Oh, to the boat.
To your friends, right. Hop in.
Oh, very good.
There we go.
Hey,
Fasten your seatbelt, mate.
it is pretty exciting.
And away we go. She just passed under the Verrazano Bridge.
Hey, this is exciting.
You know, I've heard you people on the radio for so long, I never did know what you look like.
I heard you too. I heard you
Yes,
many
heard
times.
so.
Yeah?
Now, we'll be on the deck in just a few minutes. Hold tight.
Yeah.
Helicopter 710 picks up Calvin Hoogerman and is proceeding on its way to the deck of the Poseidon. You'll want to be here tomorrow when there's a grand reunion, and we'll hear Calvin say,
You know, that guy in the helicopter socked me 25 bucks.
That's tomorrow in the next exciting episode of Mary Backstage Noble Wife. Word Carr speaking. Next, Mary Backstage Noble Wife, the story of America's favorite family of the Footlights and of their fight for security and happiness against the concrete heart of Broadway. It's a few minutes after yesterday's episode now, aboard Helicopter 710, as the pilot is ferrying Calvin Hoogerman, left behind when the Poseidon left Fulton Pier, to the deck of the boat, which Mary, Harry, Greg, and Pop are heading for South Africa. As we join the captain.
There it is out there, Captain.
Right, mate. I can set it down right on the top deck there. She is a beauty, isn't she?
Yeah, that's a big vessel, all right.
All right, hold tight.
We'll do some traffic reporting after this.
I will be a little bit later, yeah, right.
Okay.
Here we go. Oh, they see us. See, they're waving there.
Don't miss the deck now.
Okay, I think we're down now. All right. Hop out, mate.
Well, thank you very much.
Well, it's been a pleasure to meet you, and I hope you have a wonderful safari, and I'll be looking for that TV special when you return.
Oh, very good. Thank you again, and good luck.
Hi, Calvin.
Hello, Calvin. It's a good day.
Hey, welcome to the Poseidon.
Let me wave goodbye to the helicopter 710. Goodbye.
Hello, mate.
Bye.
Well, it's good we're all together.
Well, I'm telling you.
See, the crew is giving 710 a round of applause for having picked
no
up.
idea how delighted I am to be here. I thought that this adventure here on the Poseidon was not going to be for me. I thought I was going to miss it.
Well, you're certainly going to be part of it from now on, Calvin.
I was certainly lucky to... Whose idea was it to send that helicopter?
Well, it was Mary's idea, and the captain was very good about it. He radioed Helicopter 710, and he was picking you up in no time.
Oh, I don't think I deserve all the credit. Everybody just was heartsick at the thought of going to Africa without you.
Yes, but you thought of the helicopter, Mary.
Oh, it wasn't anything. Anybody could have thought of it.
Oh, not anybody, Mary.
No way. It takes good thinking to think of something like sending a helicopter.
Right.
Or most people would be so flustered and upset and everything that they
Mary
wouldn't even think
kept
of
a
it.
cool head through the whole thing.
Well,
her to thank for it.
It's not that.
And Mary, you know what I think?
What?
I think that Calvin's good luck came by way of you because of your Mary Backstage marigolds.
Could be. I've never would have thought of that.
Good example of the good luck that can come to someone and their friends, too.
Hey, how about that? Yeah, it must be because of the good luck the marigolds brought us. Well, what do you know about that?
Aye, we're really getting out to sea now.
Yeah, can't hardly see land anymore.
Where's Greg, Mary?
I don't know. I haven't seen him since the helicopter side of the land. I think he's upstairs going over the plans for the show.
Probably, yes.
He's lining up the camera angles with the cameraman.
What are we going to do, pick up a crew if we get to South Africa? I haven't really thought about the logistics of the thing.
Don't ask me. That's one thing I don't... All I know about television is to talk when I see the red light go on. I don't know anything about it. I don't know how it works, even. I don't know how it leaves that studio and gets to the house.
Oh, well, that's the way it is with us theatrically minded people. We don't worry about the technical end of it.
It's done through electronics, you know. They have these tubes and things like that, and now they have transistors. That's how it works, all right. Oh, well, I don't want to be bothered with that. I just want to get up and stand in front of the camera and do my work.
Just do the artistic part.
That's
the way we theater people are.
What am I going to do? Am I going to be on camera, or am I going to be like a helper, a stagehand, or what?
I don't know. I imagine that'll be up to Greg. Maybe you could do some interviews with some of the interesting people we're bound to meet there on safari.
Well, maybe you'll hold the wild animals while we photograph them.
Yeah, that would be good.
What?
Well, I don't
wild
think
animals?
No, he won't have to do that.
Rhinoceroses and things like that. Rhinoceroses?
Rhinoceroses?
Well, I couldn't hold a rhinoceros. Why, they're like a tank.
Listen, you hear what I hear?
What?
Sounded like thunder.
So what?
Maybe it is. What about it? Well, I mean, we may be running into a storm.
That's not thunder. That's a 10-inch gun firing on us from somewhere.
And just as everything seemed to be in fine order with Calvin returned to the Poseidon, a 10-inch gun opens fire on the vessel. You want to be here on Monday when we'll hear the captain expostulate.
Who's shooting at us anyway?
That's Monday in the next exciting episode of Merry Backstage Noble Wife. Word Carr speaking. Next, Merry Backstage Noble Wife, the story of America's favorite family of the Footlights and their fight for security and happiness against the concrete heart of Broadway. Today we join Mary, Harry, Pop, Calvin, and Greg Marlowe in the Grand Saloon of the liner Poseidon as they head for their African safari and their first night at sea. And as the orchestra plays in the background, we hear Mary say,
Oh, isn't that lovely? I feel like dancing. I wonder where Greg is.
Well, I'll dance with you, Mary.
No, I guess not.
Why you keep
Change your mind, eh?
Yeah, I think I'll just sit and listen to the music.
They say it's going to be quite an entertaining show here, the captain was telling me.
Like to dance with me, Mary? No, thank you. I just think I'll sit.
Mary?
No, you're too professional. You would waltz me around the room too quickly. You're a very good dancer.
Haven't you noticed how friendly everybody aboard ship is?
Yeah, so nice.
of you.
Music is good, too.
Someday you'll fall in love as I fell in
Love with you.
Maybe someone you love will just be fooling. And when you're all alone with
Pass the salt, please.
Yes, here you are, Calvin.
you
How come they don't put ketchup right on the table?
Well, it doesn't look too good.
Oh,
ketchup
no,
on
that's
oil.
very gross. Put ketchup bottle on the table.
You know, I think we're going to enjoy the food on our cruise here. It was, the meal tonight was very good.
It's meatloaf, isn't it?
Yes.
It's not too bad. I didn't know whether it was meatloaf or shepherd pie.
No, it was meatloaf. It's kind of disguised with that sauce on it, but
Mystery sauce, they call it.
yeah. Oh, there's the MC coming out. I guess the entertainment's going to start pretty soon.
Folks, as part of our ongoing program of entertainment here on the Poseidon, we have a chap who's been on many ships. Maybe you've bumped into him before if you're traveled on ships before.
Hey, do you suppose it's that storyteller we heard?
We have the famous storyteller.
Yes, it is. It's that shipboard
He
storyteller.
has been the talk of navigational circles for years. The way he tells these wonderful stories, he kind of makes history come to life. So let's give him a wonderful Poseidon welcome. Everybody, let's really hear it.
Hey, yeah.
Oh, good.
Wonder what story he'll tell this time.
I don't know. Let's listen. There, he's fixing the microphone.
More coffee, Mary?
Yes, please. Thank you. Go ahead with the story, buddy. Go ahead. You're on.
He seems like he doesn't want to tell the story. He's just looking at the audience, trying to stare them down.
Well,
Never
maybe
seen
more
this happen.
wise.
Come on there.
Come on, buddy. Tell the story.
Maybe we can hear a little more dance music. Guys, he appears to have forgotten the story altogether.
Waiter. Could we have some more coffee and more of that Lady Baltimore cake?
Sure thing, ma'am. I'll be right back.
That was really good, that Lady Baltimore cake.
Yeah, it was.
I haven't had that in a long
Oh, wait.
time.
I think the storyteller's going to begin.
No, he just shook his head. No, they're having trouble with the microphone, I'm afraid.
That always happens. Well, it's the first night out. There's bound to be a few bugs, you know. Yeah, I noticed.
Well, I don't know as I'm ready for story anyway. Well, people want the story.
Look, they're leaving the Grand Saloon and the storyteller and the band.
Everybody Everybody's leaving. I wonder why.
I don't know. Maybe they know something we don't know, Mary. You got to dance?
Yes, I think I would now.
And so, the Poseidon plows through the waters, steadily headed eastward. You want to join us tomorrow when we'll hear Calvin say,
Man overboard.
that's tomorrow in the next exciting episode of Mary Backstage Noble Wife. Word Carr speaking. Next, Mary Backstage Noble Wife, the story of America's favorite family of the Footlights and of their fight for security and happiness against the concrete heart of Broadway. Our story begins today, a few minutes after yesterday's episode. Mary, Harry, Pop, Calvin, and Greg are in the grand saloon of the luxury liner Poseidon, enjoying the entertainment provided by the captain on their first night out.
Well, looks like we're going to have that storyteller.
Yes, I think they fixed the microphone.
He had some trouble with that mic.
The captain ordered the canvas prepared. That night, the sailors spread it on deck.
Sea story.
The child was placed in it. Then it was folded over a body and sewn up ready for burial, and then sewn up ready for burial the next day.
Ready for burial the next day.
Yeah, that's exciting.
But even as they did so, everybody heard the. Sorry,
He's a little
in
nervous,
1683, she married King Louis XIV,
Should try to pay attention.
and for the remaining 32 years of his reign, it was Francoise who guided.
I can't make any sense out of it. How can I pay attention?
I like it.
1683, she married King Louis XIV.
Good
And
story.
for the remaining 32 years of his reign, it was Francoise who guided the destiny of France.
Greg,
That's a
maybe
good
you
story.
could work this fellow into the safari feature, the special
In 1683,
TV.
she married King Louis XIV, and for the remaining 32
Yes, Greg.
years, in 1817, he fell in love with it. That he had heard Emily.
Can
He
you-
had complained either he marry his daughter, he would challenge him to a duel. Opponent had changed of heart too.
Yes.
I hope
And
he's
he
going to
hoped
ask
that-
questions
And two
afterwards.
shots rang out. Adolf fired high, but even
What is a very good story. I like it.
and two shots rang out.
Sure they did.
It,
That's right. It's wonderful.
Yes, it's quite
for the
interesting.
rest of his life,
Yeah.
nothing could alter his feeling of guilt.
No. Yeah.
For the rest of his life, nothing could alter his
Yes.
feeling of guilt.
Pass me that bottle,
But
will you,
his
Calvin?
curse was the cause of the tragedy.
There it is. It's closer
When
to
he
me.
died, he left
Thanks.
all his money,
Thanks,
$5
Barry.
million, to be divided equally among the survivors of that terrible tragedy.
Wow, $5 million.
Gosh.
For the rest of his life,
That's
thought of modern atomic submarines and then of the Roman Empire and how they conquered
Is
Carthage,
this another story?
which
No.
we now know as Tunis.
Same story.
In the year 260 BC, Cyrus Deulius was consul of Rome.
I do
Yes.
find it hard to follow, though.
In the year, he could hardly ask for his bodyguard before they had a chance to allot him another flute player and a torchbearer for being the conqueror of the Carthaginians. He got it. Oh,
Now,
that rose opposite his modest
Could you get
cabin.
me another
That
drink?
rose opposite his modest.
Same thing all around.
He
Yeah.
told them that
Back to the
someday,
double.
right where they were standing, he told them that someday, right there where we. Soon afterward, John Hendricks died.
Oh.
Harry, you're drifting off to sleep, I think, aren't you?
Oh, yes. His voice has that quality of a late TV show droning in the background, almost like a sleeping pill.
Yeah, a little bit like the Komodo Dragon show.
Oh, the story's over?
Yep, I guess it is. He's leaving the stage, nodding to the generous applause of the people around here.
I tell you, maybe it's different, but somehow or other entertainment isn't as enjoyable as it used to be.
No, I think I'd agree with you, Calvin. Mr. Barlow, did you get anything out of the story, or?
I've been sitting here taking notes. Now, either I have bad hearing or this fellow's crazy.
Oh, you heard it the same way we did, Greg. The more you think about it, the more difficult it is to piece those pieces of the story together.
It was his stage demeanor, the way he kept glaring out at the audience. It's like he'd forgotten, and he kept referring to his notes in his hand. And I felt very uncomfortable. I don't think it was an accomplished or very professional act.
Well, maybe they'll have some different entertainment tomorrow night. Maybe the captain will announce what it's going to be in the
good.
cliffhanger.
Here come our drinks.
And so, the entertainment over, our friends prepare to enjoy the remainder of the evening of their first night out aboard the Poseidon. Tomorrow you want to be here when we'll hear Calvin say,
They have cartoons of the Jetsons.
that's tomorrow in the next exciting episode of Mary Backstage Noble Wife. Word Carr speaking. Next, Mary Backstage Noble Wife, the story of America's favorite family of the Footlights and their fight for security and happiness against the concrete heart of Broadway. Aboard the liner Poseidon, Mary, Harry, Pop Calvin, and Greg Marlowe are today enjoying a day on the deck, their third day out. And as we join them, we hear Mary say,
Isn't it a lovely day?
oh, it's beautiful, and the first day we've really had to relax, actually.
You know, something about this salt air gives me a good appetite.
Yeah, the food has been pretty good, too, so far.
I've been eating like a hungry bear.
Right.
Yes, I think we all have.
I begin thinking about what we're going to have for dinner at 10:30 in the morning. That's how good I think it is.
That's right. That's always a good sign when you start thinking that. Well, either it's a bad sign when you're just thinking of meals.
Yes. Greg, how are you doing on your plans there?
I'm just making a few notes.
Mm-hmm.
We can't stay in Durban too long. We'll have to get up into, I suppose, the Congo and some of those other countries. Is it Kenya or Kenya?
I think it's Kenya, but of course, never having been
I've
here.
often heard it pronounced Kenya. I've heard it pronounced Kenya.
I've heard it Kenya and Kenya.
I've heard it both ways.
Well, we'll find out when we get there. You mentioned a wrong name of a place in a place, and they straighten you out pretty quick. I remember when we went to Hawaii, we kept saying we'd go back to the States, and they said it's the mainland, not the States.
We wouldn't want to make a mistake in the TV special. No.
Oh, that's right.
So, well, we'll have plenty of time to check on how to pronounce Kenya or Kenya.
Well, you'll have a
Nairobi.
technical advisor anyway, won't you, Greg?
I'm going to function as the technical advisor myself because I flew over Africa twice.
Oh, well, then
I
you
have a
certainly should know.
smattering knowledge, and I remember it from geography back in the 4th grade.
Pardon me, ladies and gentlemen. Lady and gentlemen.
Yes, it's referred to as darkest Africa in some circles, you know.
That's right, it is. Is there Mr. Marlowe here?
Speaking right here, sir.
I have a radiogram for you, sir.
Oh, thank you.
Just came into the ship.
Now, should I tip you, or do we pay you when we get off?
No,
later?
when you get off, we'll be fine, sir.
All right, make a note of it.
Who's it from, Greg?
Some of the network back in New York.
Oh?
They would like an update. Well, let me put it in there.
You look worried there, Mr. Marlowe.
Well, it's just they said that they haven't sold the special yet, and to kind of drag my feet. In other words, don't, in essence, don't do too many hours of filming until they have a firm sponsor.
Don't spend any money, they mean?
Essentially, that's it. They said keep it to bare minimum, and they would like an update on progress so far. Well, all right, I'll get a radiogram off to them and tell them that.
Would you say that's good or bad news, Greg? By that I mean...
It's not good news, of course, when you are told to drag your feet because they haven't been able to sell it.
Sounds to me like they might have second thoughts about whether we should make this special in Africa or not.
You don't think they were going all the way over here in a, quote, wild goose chase, unquote, do you?
You don't think that, do you, Mr. Marlowe?
I don't know what to think as of right now. I wish you'd excuse me, please. I want to go to my stateroom and read this message again.
Oh, all right, Greg.
Maybe there's something hidden in here that doesn't jump out at me.
We'll see you at dinner, then.
On face value, I'm displeased.
And so Greg receives rather disturbing news from the head of the network. Will they be able to produce a special from Africa? Sure, and join us tomorrow when we'll hear Greg Marlowe say,
Actually, what they said was don't do anything more until I hear from them.
That's tomorrow in the next exciting episode of Mary Backstage Noble Wife. Word Carr speaking. Next, Mary Backstage Noble Wife. The story of America's favorite family of the Footlights and their fight for security and happiness against the concrete heart of Broadway. Another day at sea aboard the liner Poseidon as Mary, Harry, Pop, Calvin, and Greg and the other passengers head for their destination, Durban, South Africa. A beautiful warm sun shines down on the deck now as our friends play shuffleboard and discuss their upcoming television special. I think it's your turn to shoot the point, Larry.
Keeping a wary eye out for icebergs, but I guess we're too far south.
Oh, we're too far south for that, Calvin. Yes.
Time of the year.
Greg, did you look over the wire from the network again and decide whether they meant what it sounded like?
I'm going to go ahead anyway. You know, the networks now run mostly by salespeople, and they're very shaky about spending a little money.
Yes, I know that.
I'm going to go right ahead and do what I think is best to produce what I think will be a wonderful TV special with you two and you, Calvin, and Pop, and I just don't care how much money I'm going to spend. I'm just going to turn out what I think is a wonderful TV show. Oh, I think that is the nicest thing to hear.
Oh, that's really great. How'd it go?
That really is the proper attitude to have.
We need more fellas like you in the broadcasting industry who isn't afraid of a little red ink once in a while.
Right, and who thinks ahead and thinks more of the show than
Thinks
of the business part.
Of the audience more than the board of directors meeting and looking at figures and red ink and things like that. It's time that entertainment be given back to entertainers.
Oh, Mary, you're so right. And the two of you have really encouraged me. I'm really looking forward to starting our television special when we get to
Bunch
Africa.
of bookkeepers, they don't know anything about show business anyway. All they know is how to add up a column of figures.
Yeah, whoever said CPA should be in show business?
Right.
Doesn't have anything to do with
Or determine what is good and what is bad.
Yes, that's right.
Doesn't make any sense to me. Of course, we're all of the theater. We're not essentially business people, but we're more creative.
That's right.
You know, I'll be the first to admit that I can't reconcile my checkbook or anything like that.
Well, there's
but I don't try.
nothing to be ashamed of in that. Not many of us can.
The way I look at it, if there's no money in the bank, the check will bounce.
Sure,
then I'll know I should make a deposit.
Right.
Sure, that's the only way to look at it. Of course. Who's ahead here in this game anyway?
Oh, I haven't even noticed, but I think it's my turn to shoot now.
I think I'm ahead.
What's the game anyway?
21.
21, all right. I think I've got 6 so far.
I got 19. Oh, you knocked me right out of the 10.
Yeah.
I thought I had the game wound up right there.
Let me take a try at it, Harry. Yeah, here's the thing.
Rake. Call him a rake.
Oh, you took my mind off the shot, Larry. It went right out of the trough there on the side.
No trough there. It's just a regular deck board.
It went overboard.
Wonder what people used to do on deck before some creative mind came up with shuffleboard.
Well, I don't know. They've got a ping pong table on the after poop, too.
Well, I mean, I think shuffleboard was invented before ping pong.
Oh, I'm sure it was. Sure.
I don't know what they used to do. You say back in 1860, when people were on a boat for a couple of months. You know.
It's Jerry Rogers.
Did he?
Paging Miss Jerry Rogers.
Did he say Jerry Rogers?
Miss Rogers, please. Paging Miss
Excuse me,
Jerry
sir.
Rogers. Yeah, yes, sir.
Is Miss Jerry Rogers on this boat?
Well, she's supposed to be, sir. That's why I'm paging her.
You mean, well, I don't know, possibly 2 Jerry Rogers.
Yes, it's not an uncommon name.
No,
eh?
of course, maybe it isn't our friend. The lady who used to go dip-a-dip-a-dip-a-dop, like that.
Now, I don't know whether this one goes dip-a-dip-a-dop or not.
No, she goes dip-a-dip-a-dip-a-doo. dip-a-dip-a-dip-a-da.
Matter of fact, this one goes whoop 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 whoop, something like that. Whoop
Well, then-
whoop whoop.
That's not the Jerry Rogers we know.
Oh,
Ours goes dip-a-dip-a-dip-a-doo.
and so the purser informs our friends that Miss Jerry Rogers is supposed to be aboard the Poseidon. But is it a different one? Sure, and join us tomorrow when we'll hear Mary say,
Yes, it's the same one.
that's tomorrow in the next exciting episode of Mary Backstage Noble Wife. Word Carr speaking. Next, Mary Backstage Noble Wife. The story of America's favorite family of the Footlights and their fight for security and happiness against the concrete heart of Broadway. Another evening in the grand saloon of the liner Poseidon, and today our friends have been invited by the captain to participate in the entertainment. And as we join their table, we hear Mary, Pop, Calvin, and Greg listening to the entertainment.
The captain
This is
ordered
going to
the
be a
candles
very
prepared.
hard act to follow.
That night, the sailors spread it on
I
deck.
think
The child was placed in
he's
it.
got my
Then it was
dance
folded
number set
over
up
a
for
body
the
and
next
sewn up
bag.
ready for burial.
I'm not going to do anything. I'm just going to be part of the audience tonight.
Yes, I am too, Calvin.
You know,
But even as they did so,
but there's something comforting.
But even as they did so, everybody
Yes.
heard the.
There's something comforting about just having to sit in the audience, not having to get up and perform.
But she
This may
came.
not be
But she,
such a hard act to follow.
in 1683, she married King Louis XIV, and for the remaining 32 years of his reign, it was Francoise who guided.
You're going to do the number from the Westchester Furioso, Bob? No, I'm going to do another one this time.
He married
Something
King
I've
Louis
been working on in my stateroom.
And for the remaining
to rehearse
32
with the
years
drummer?
of his reign,
He's
The one thing a tap
Francoise
dancer has to
guided
do
the
is
destiny of France.
to work with the drummer. Oh, is he over?
As the MC, he's going to announce the next
Thank you
act.
very much, Mr. Storyteller.
Break a leg, Pop.
I know it, speaking for all the audience, that we're all just dumbfounded and aghast at your story and your ability to tell one.
Say that again.
It's certainly entertainment of a new dimension, and I know that you have a great storytelling career ahead of you. Now, friends of the Poseidon, as we head toward a terrific sea adventure, we'd like to welcome to our stage Pop Beloved, who recently been featured in the great Broadway show Westchester Furioso. He's going to do a little shtick, a little tap dance for us. So let's give him a Poseidon welcome, Pop Beloved.
Thank you very much. Okay, drummer. Hey, this is a new number.
Oh, that's pretty good.
Thank you. Thank you.
Oh, this is difficult.
Yes.
This is when the tap dancer begs for applause, you know. He goes through those very simple steps, making it look difficult, waving his arms in a circle.
Yes, and look, he's winking at me.
What happened?
Oh.
He fell down.
Well, you all right, Pop? Yes, just my dignity is hurt. How'd you like to do? Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
Very good.
Real crowd pleaser I am.
You really took a header. Did you hurt yourself?
No, I don't think so, Mary.
Well, too bad you got your white ducks all stained.
Tomorrow is when you'll feel it, Pop. You'll see whether you hurt yourself or not.
Yes, that's true.
That's
about
true.
those muscle things. It's the next day is when you notice it. Yeah.
Right, let's see what the next act is going
Thank
to
you
be.
very much, Pop. We all enjoyed that very much. Unfortunately, you fell there at the end, but I don't think it detracted one bit from your act.
I know it.
And now, from New York, Miss Jerry Rogers.
It is the same Miss Jerry Rogers.
Yes,
all right.
it is.
Waiter, will you get another round of drinks for this table,
Boy,
please?
how's that? Same thing all around again.
take a double.
Me too.
You had doubles the first time. Well, then it'll be the same again.
You know, I'm not from Missouri, but this song really gets me. Missouri, for me.
How do you suppose she happened to be on this same vessel with us? I don't know.
Oh, very good. Just terrific. Thank you very much. Well, that just about wraps up the entertainment, ladies and gentlemen. The orchestra now will be playing for the next few minutes for your dancing pleasure. Thanks for riding the Poseidon.
And so another night's entertainment concludes aboard the Poseidon, and our friends draw ever nearer to South Africa. You want to join us on Monday when we'll hear Calvin say,
Land ho!
That's Monday in the next exciting episode of Mary Backstage Noble Wife. Word Carr speaking. Next, Mary Backstage Noble Wife. The story of America's favorite family of the Footlights and of their fight for security and happiness against the concrete heart of Broadway. The problems over Harry and Calvin's passports were finally cleared up by the inspector in Durban, South Africa, and soon after, Mary, Harry, Pop, Calvin, and Greg boarded the train which is to take them to Pretoria and then into the Transvaal on their safari. Now aboard the train we hear...
Well, isn't this colorful?
Yes.
So native.
Yes.
Yes.
Awfully noisy, though, if you want to take a nap.
Oh, who's tired?
Well, I'm kind of tired. We had to wait so long for you and Harry to get your passport straightened out.
You know, they had a good solution there. What they did was they crossed out where it had my last name is Backstage, and then they wrote in with a red pencil my real name, and then they had the initial it, CH. And then for Harry, they had him crossed out where it had and they wrote in Backstage with a red pencil, and they had him initial it with his initials, HB.
Now, they said that would be all well accepted wherever we go here in Africa, so we can rest assured we can go from one place to another with no trouble.
Was it notarized too?
Yes, I think the inspector was a notary public. How long is it going to take us to get to Pretoria, Mr. Marlowe?
Well, we've just gone through Johannesburg, which is probably the biggest city here, and I thought I was going to stop in Johannesburg myself, but we went through there like it was, just a stop for water.
Yes.
And mail, but it hardly slowed down. So I don't know. I'm not familiar with this territory at all. I'm just going over my camera shots. We're going to open up on a wide picture of a map of Africa.
Oh, that's a good idea, Greg. Mm-hmm.
And then we'll... Did you ever see Bonanza?
No, I don't believe I ever did. Was that
well,
a
then
TV
they'd have
series?
they have the map start to burn in the middle. I thought that's kind of a technique we'd use, and then have the map come apart in flames, and then have your picture, you Harry and you Mary.
What about me?
No. Just Harry and Mary at first, with their pictures right in the center of Africa. And then underneath we could start the crawl rolling, that is the title and the credits.
And then what do we do? Kind of wink and say, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, we're the Backstagers?
I haven't gotten to the dialogue. I'm just thinking now in the big big picture.
Sure thing.
And then we'll cut then, of course, to some wild scenes from various countries. Like, I should actually be stopping this train now and taking pictures of the countryside here.
Yes,
so
you're going to miss a lot.
A montage of these various shots.
Can you take them from the moving train?
Good thought.
That might be an idea to get a little different look to it.
Might be kind of blurry, though. Do you have a good fast camera?
What do you mean by that?
Well, I mean, camera that I don't know what I mean by
Well,
that.
we must be
Together.
moving along at 40, 50 miles an hour here through the jungle, don't you?
Well, I don't think. I honestly, if whenever I took a picture of Harry Jr. on a swing, it was always just one big blur. I don't know how you could take a picture out a train window and expect to get anything.
Those are the old days, Mary. It's new film technique now. It's one of those things that bug you when you look at it, but it's still in effect.
Well, that's probably why I should have brought along a professional photographer instead of relying on myself. I'm barely above the brownie stage.
You mean you're planning to do all of the photography on this TV special, Greg, with no training at all?
Well, I mean, I know.
Listen to that whistle. That's the funniest whistle I've ever heard.
Everything is so different when you leave home. The trains run on the different side of the tracks. Like, we pass each other on the wrong side here in South Africa.
Yes. Well, I'm going to try to get a little rest before we get there. We'll be busy enough when we reach Pretoria.
I just took a picture out the window, and all I got was that other train.
And so the Backstages train roars on past Johannesburg and toward Pretoria. Tomorrow, the safari begins in earnest when we hear Greg Marlowe say,
No, don't feed the animals.
That's tomorrow in the next exciting episode of Mary Backstage Noble Wife. Word Carr speaking. How are you, Chet?
Oh, pretty well, thank you.
You know, we were talking this morning at our program conference before today's show was put together about Kent Lyle. Have you heard anything from Kent?
No, not a word.
Have you tried to follow him up? We were talking the other day that he might have been on vacation back in Chicago. But
well, he's hard to track down, you know.
I know
He doesn't stay in the same place very long. He changes address right here in New York 2 and 3 times a year.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
I don't have any idea why that is, the reason for it, but that is the case.
Kind of mysterious, isn't it?
Yes, it is. It gives one pause to think about.
Well, you must be kind of lonesome without your buddy there, the fellow that...
Well, I know the Buffalo gals are quite low. They quite taken with Kent.
I know.
And they've been calling me. I can never tell them apart. I never know which one it is on the phone, Brenda or the other one.
Kobina.
Yes. And they've been asking about Kent.
I might mention that the Buffalo gals that Chester speaks of were the 2 ladies whom Kent Lyle Birdley and Chester were dating a few months back. They're not from Buffalo. They're called that because...
Well, because they look like Buffalo. Yeah.
Right. Well, if you do get any word about Chester, will you call us right away?
You bet.
Okay.
Sure.
Chester Hasbrook Frisbee. Next, Mary Backstage Noble Wife, the story of America's favorite family of the Footlights and of their fight for security and happiness against the concrete heart of Broadway. Aboard the train carrying them to Pretoria, Mary, Harry, Pop Calvin, and Greg Marlowe are beginning to experience the interesting adventure in East Africa as they make way to present their television special, or rather to film it. And as we join them, we hear Greg say,
Well, we want to get, of course, many pictures of animals as we can. Because that's animals we've discovered is rating.
Oh, yes.
People love to watch animals
They
on
do.
TV.
Especially snakes, too. Snakes kind of make a hypnotic effect on the viewer.
That's exactly what it is. People stand there transfixed with mixed emotions of fear and admiration and, well, whatever.
Yes, I think animals should play a big part in our TV special.
Definitely. You know, I have this Animals of East Africa. It's National Geographic Society book.
Wait a minute. Can you identify what that is that we're just passing?
Let me see. Oh, sure. That's a bush buck.
A what?
A bush buck.
A bush buck?
Yeah.
Bush buck.
It stands about 30, 36 inches and weighs 90 to 150 pounds.
Say, you're pretty well read on this stuff, Calvin.
Well, I say I have.
How about that animal over there?
That's a wildebeest.
A wildebeest?
Yeah.
Wildebeest?
Wildebeest? Why do you put the A in? You sound like you're talking with an accent.
No, it's wildebeest.
That's a good.
A wildebeest is 4 to 4.5 feet tall.
That's a good.
They weigh, though, 400 to 500 pounds.
Oh, well, then we don't want to fool with them, do we?
No way. No.
Greg, have you made preparations for us to be protected while filming our special? By that I mean we'd hate to get close to anything dangerous and not know it.
Well, I thought while I was filming, you other people could stand around with sticks in case the animals came by.
Well, I don't know whether sticks would have any bearing on a lion if he was angry.
You got to remember that animals are as frightened of you as you are of them.
Yeah, I've always heard that.
Yeah,
I've never tried to prove it.
No, I've never seen a fella chasing a lion, though. Have you?
No, I never have.
No. So once they get running one way or the other, it's always the animal chasing the guy.
Yeah, that's the way it usually works out.
Yes, I've never seen anybody chasing, for instance, a gorilla man particularly.
No, Greg, I just had a good idea. A feature of our show should be some of the local talent around Pretoria. Maybe we could get a singing group, or maybe what's new in music in this part of East Africa.
Well, that's a thought.
Hey, that would be good.
Mr. Marlowe. Well, I think that's a good idea.
Sure. Must be nightclubs in Pretoria, aren't there?
Oh, I'm sure.
I imagine so, sure.
Pretoria, you see, is just this side of the backcountry. When we leave Pretoria, we're going to be out in what we would call back in the States the sticks.
Yeah, the Transvaal, is that what they call
it? The whole area is Transvaal, and it's, as they say, it's a long time between drinks out there.
Speaking of that, Greg, is there a dining car in this train?
Oh, yeah, sure. 2 cars forward.
Harry, would you like to join me for
Or, I was just going to get down. Mary, why don't you come along with me? And Harry, I want you to take this book and look out. Pick out some of the animals that you think would make an interesting part of the show.
How about baboons? Are they in this part of the world?
I think they are, sure. Why don't you take this book, and Mary and I will go up ahead and have a little repast.
Okay,
that's fine, Greg. Thank you very much.
I'll go along with them, Harry.
No, you stay here. No, you two stay here.
Well, we want to go to the dining car, Mr. Barlow.
Later.
And so Mary and Greg head for the dining car as Harry, Pop, and Calvin prepare to study up on their coming African safari. You'll want to join us tomorrow when we'll hear Calvin say,
"Is it a pride of lions, or what is that?"
That's tomorrow in the next exciting episode of Mary Backstage Noble Wife. Word Car speaking. Next, Mary Backstage Noble Wife, the story of America's favorite family of the Footlights and of their fight for security and happiness against the concrete heart of Broadway. Aboard the train carrying them toward Pretoria, East Africa, where they're to begin work on their television special, Mary, Harry, Pop, Calvin, and Greg are enjoying the new sights and sounds and making notes of things to include on their show, as we hear Mary say,
"Oh, my, I'm beginning to enjoy this trip now."
Yes, I am, too. I can't say I'm used to Africa yet, but I think I will get to enjoy it.
Windows and see all these animals.
It's like one of those tours you could take at some of the animal parks where you're in a cage and the animals are free.
I've never seen some of these critters that abound here.
Calvin, you were reading up in that National Geographic book yesterday about some of the animals, the wildebeest.
Yeah. The what did you say?
The wildebeest. Wildebeest?
Wildebeest? I thought it was wildebeest.
Well, I don't know. It doesn't say how to pronounce it in the book.
No, it doesn't, but I don't know. I used to read Oscar Wilde. I never read Oscar Wilde.
No, I never did either.
I didn't either. I think I'll go along with you, Calvin. You know how to pronounce words best.
Thank you very much.
Well, what are some of the animals in there besides the wildebeest, Calvin?
Wildebeest.
A wildebeest.
Well, you have your viper. You have your,
That's some kind of an asp, isn't it?
yes, I suppose. Is it a viper? Oh, yeah, it's a snake, I
Yes.
suppose. Well, you have your reed buck, and you have your poachers.
Well, poachers aren't just
Have them
exactly
everywhere.
animals. Yeah, poachers you have in England. You have a poacher is a person who sits on land that doesn't belong to him.
I remember a poacher on Lord Brandyshare's estate that we dreamed about once.
Yeah, you can also have an egg poacher, which is an altogether different thing.
Oh, poached eggs are very delicious.
I like a poached egg. Maybe we'll have that tomorrow morning. A good old-fashioned poached egg on toast.
I wonder if they'll have any American food in Pretoria when we get there. Wonder what it's like in Pretoria.
You have your mongooses, or is that mongoose?
No, mongooses, I think, is right.
You have your water buck, your wildebeest, your zebras, your wildcats, and your palm civet.
Your what?
Palm civet.
Palm civet.
Palm civet.
Palm civet.
My heavens.
You have your giraffe and your hippopotamus and your rhinoceros. Hey, this book from the National Geographic has all the pictures in it.
Yes,
Look at that.
Beautiful photographs, too.
Something wrong?
No, I swallowed a peanut the wrong way, I
A
think.
lot of pictures of animals making a kill. I don't particularly enjoy that.
Hey, look at this group coming from the car behind us.
Oh, they all look like they're three sheets to the wind.
They look like they're having a good time, all right.
Yeah, marching through the train, singing, and that's pleasant. You never see that on the Long Island Railroad back
No,
home.
listen to this song. It's all about Pretoria.
So we will talk together, so we will talk together. Walk with me and talk with me, and so we will talk together as we march along. Because we are marching through Pretoria, Pretoria, Pretoria.
Hello.
Hello there, folks.
Hello.
They're nodding. They can't stop singing.
Was there paid for by the train?
Who could tell?
Maybe the Pretoria Chamber of Commerce.
So we will hum together, so we will hum together, so we will hum together. Hum with me, I'll hum with you, and so we will hum
You know,
together.
when I get occupied this way, I like to check on my wallet.
Well, there they go into the next car forward anyway. Well, that's a pleasant little divertissement.
Yeah, you never see... What?
Divertissement.
Oh, my heavens. Is that an English word?
No, it's a French word.
Why don't you talk English?
Shouldn't be speaking French when you're in East
No.
Africa, Harry.
No, this is English speaking.
Well, I get so little chance to use it. I just like to
Well,
when I can.
a lot of German spoken here, too. The Dutch.
Yes, that's right. There is. Say, it seemed like the train was slowing down.
I believe we're arriving at Pretoria.
I think we've made it. And so our friends do arrive in Pretoria, and tomorrow begin work in seriousness on their new TV special. And you'll want to be here when we'll hear Greg Marlowe say,
Okay, we're going to start shooting today.
that's tomorrow in the next exciting episode of Mary Backstage Noble Wife. Word Carr speaking. Next, Mary Backstage Noble Wife, the story of America's favorite family of the Footlights and of their fight for security and happiness against the concrete heart of Broadway. It's the day following yesterday's episode now. Harry, Mary, Pop, Calvin, and Greg arrived in Pretoria, East Africa, and Greg has engaged the crew members who are to accompany them on safari. Now, at the assembly point, the equipment has been loaded on the bush wagons, and our friends are about to head into the Transvaal. As we hear, Greg.
Those are Land Rovers, aren't they?
Yes, I think that's what they call them, Greg.
Yeah.
You
okay.
did well in lining up this crew. They look like good men.
We have all the film, cameras, the lights, and the crew. Is there anything we've forgotten now?
Well, we've got the food supplies, don't we? That's going to be important when we get into the Transvaal.
Yes, I've got the food, drinking water, and is there anything now that I've forgotten?
Plenty of film, Greg. Have we got plenty of
Oh, yeah,
film?
plenty of film. I have black and white and color. I'd like to get your thinking on this, Harry. I thought maybe we could get two different angles, shoot simultaneously, so that we won't have to retake the same scene over and over. Take it from two different angles, one color, one black and white. Does that make any sense to you?
Well, it does to me, of course.
It does to me, but I don't know anything about producing film.
No, I don't either. I mean, it sounds good.
It sounds good, but it doesn't make sense. Why one shot black and white? Why not both color or both black and white? It's going to be a color
show, isn't it, Greg?
I'm sure it would be color. But you'll always have what they call
you have a safety there with the
backup. Be a backup.
Well, I don't know. I think they'd both be shot in color, but who's going to shoot the other camera? You're the principal cameraman.
Now, when we get out into the wild, shall I hold the animals while you photograph it? I mean, like, suppose a wild beast comes by. Shall I hold him by the horns or what?
I don't think that's a very good idea, Calvin. They can be pretty mean, those wildebeests, sometimes, when they want to be.
Well, if I hold on to the wildebeest, maybe you get a picture of me trying to get on him and ride him.
That would be exciting, all right.
Oh, I don't think you should do that. Greg, that doesn't make too much sense. I wouldn't encourage him to do anything like that.
Well, we'll figure it out when we get there. I think the trucks are ready to pull out, Greg. Shall we climb aboard?
Okay, everybody aboard?
Yeah.
I'm aboard. Wait till I get up.
Wait, give me a hand, Mary. I'll help you up. Here we go.
Wait!
Well, we're off into the Transvaal, all right. Did Mary get on that other truck?
No, I don't think so.
No, I don't think she made that last one. We should turn around and go back and get her, of course.
I don't know how to speak to the driver. He's so full of purpose. He looks like he's carved out of granite going straight ahead as fast as this wagon will go.
Besides that, I don't think he understands English. Even if we told him to stop, he probably wouldn't do it.
Yeah, Mary's just a speck on the horizon now.
She's waving her handkerchief at us, as if to say, I won't see you for a long time.
Yeah.
Greg, what do you think?
Think of what? I want to go back and get Mary. She's part of the show.
Well, how are we going to do it?
Wait a minute. Let me see if I can get some action out of this driver. Hey, down there.
What do you?
I want you to turn around and go back to where we started from. You understand?
What does you?
No, what does you? I want you to turn around and go back where we started. We left somebody back there.
Doesn't understand you, Greg. We're heading into the Transvaal, leaving Mary all alone back there.
That's what I was telling him. What does you?
Wait a minute. I think he stopped. Yes, he has.
Hey, now what do I want you?
He's swinging around. Hang on. Now we're headed back for Pretoria.
Well, at least it's a start.
And so our friends get off to a rather shaky start on their safari. But you want to be here on Monday when we'll hear Mary say,
No, I was all set to go to a movie.
That's Monday in the next exciting episode of Mary Backstage Noble One. Word Carr speaking.